If you're here, it's because you are probably in a space where you're feeling the weight of everything. You're feeling exhausted. You're feeling tired, but on a level that's not just, oh, I need to take a nap. It's on that deep soul level. It's in that space where you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world, you're carrying the weight of everyone else's needs and responsibilities on your shoulders. And you're trying to manage your own expectations, your own goals, the own things that you want to achieve for your life. And somehow you're feeling disconnected. You're maybe questioning, is this really worth it? And you're probably wondering, how did I get here? Well, I get where you are. I get that feeling. And I want to be the first, if I am the first, to tell you that it's okay to feel what you're feeling. And chances are you're experiencing burnout. That's why you got this coaching video. Because you're at a point in your life where you know that something needs to change. You know that you have to do something different, but you maybe don't know how, you don't know where to start, you don't know exactly what you should be doing, but you're feeling it and you're ready to make a change. And that's why you're here. So welcome. My name's Allison Tibbs. I am here as your coach, your Nourish Life coach, to support you and help you in this video, to share with you some things that have been really helpful for me on my own burnout journey and how I've been able to help and coach my own clients to navigate their own journey and step into greater healing, a deeper reset, and to feel better about themselves. I'm so passionate about this work because burnout almost cost me everything. A few years ago, I found myself in the hospital. I had excruciating pain in my abdomen. It was so bad that it made me go to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, they ran some tests and it looked like my liver was failing. The numbers were astronomical, off the charts. Doctors were scratching their heads. They had no idea what was happening. Meanwhile, I lie there in the hospital bed with the excruciating pain getting worse, my eyes turning yellow from the jaundice, my skin becoming itchy because of the bilirubin coming out of my liver, just trying to figure out what was happening. And I was terrified because in that moment, I really didn't know if I was going to make it out. The doctors were nervous. I was nervous. They were asking me all these questions about my lifestyle. They're asking me all these questions about, what I was doing. And every answer I gave didn't give them an answer or a reason to why I was feeling the way that I was and why my numbers were looking the way that they were. And it was in that first night in the hospital. I was there for 4 days. It was in that first night. I laid there and I could hear the beeping of all the machines, and every now and then the nurse would come in and check on me. And I was wide awake. And I thought to myself, how did I get here? And as I continue to process and do a kind of a review of the past few weeks, months of my life, I realized that I had put myself in that situation because I ignored all the signs that my body was telling me that I needed to slow down. I ignored all of the inner voices, the inner knowing. I quieted all of those down because I wanted to keep on pushing. I wanted to keep on going. I told myself, if I just get to this point, then I could take a rest. I said yes to everything. I neglected my needs. I neglected myself. I neglected the things that actually poured into my life because I was so focused on achieving certain things. I was so afraid of taking a break or slowing down because I didn't want to miss out on opportunities. I also didn't want people to think that I was incapable or not able to do my job. I was running off of fear and fumes, and that led me into that space. And the crazy thing about it was, I was a coach. I was a wellness advocate. I was someone who teaches this to my clients of self-care, fitness, and nutrition, and I was doing all of those things. But what I realized is that you can do all of those things, but if your core foundation isn't set, it's still going to cause a breakdown. I was literally in a moment of pure burnout, and my body was shutting down on me. And lying in that hospital for 4 days, it really was an eye-opening experience for me because it helped me to think about all the other people who 4 days could make or break their entire career or their business or their families. And I was lucky to have systems in place. I was lucky to have things that could support me while I was away, and business could go on as usual and life could go on as usual as I was taking care of myself. But I knew that wasn't the case for a lot of people. And that's when everything shifted for me. And that's when I realized that there are tons of people, you included, who are probably feeling like you can't slow down, that you can't stop. You're ignoring your check engine lights. You're ignoring all the signs. You're ignoring all the symptoms because you feel like you can't slow down. And maybe you feel like you are running off of fumes and fear as well, or maybe something else. But no matter what, something has to change, because if not, you could end up in a severe burnout breakdown.